talk to these companies, there is, it's not like walking in blind to a company. We can actually do a little research and know exactly when we go to these companies, what we need to say to them and talk to them about. So we don't have to ask too many questions. We already know what a lot of.
God, Dunbar, you done. Every time I get on here, you don't record my part.
John, you're muted again.
Started recording after I talk.
I was over here stuck. I was trying to get you. It just was. It had me doing something crazy. Where's John at? I don't see him. Hold on.
I don't know how to do my iPad. Let's see. Got to admit him back in. I got him.
Oh, okay.
There you go. He got kicked out.
There you go. Somebody kicked me out.
Sorry about that, brother.
Was it you, Serena?
Well, we don't know what happened to you, brother. We sorry about that.
That's all right.
Start over, John.
Oh, I can't start over. Can't repeat it twice. But I did I was the guest trainer last month's CDLP training, and I have about half a dozen associates reached out to me. And how I'm helping them is that I have actually quite a database of trucking companies that I've noticed in California that are in other states of the country. So I share this with other associates that want to field train with me in those other states. So I invite anybody that is in another state other than California to certainly reach out to me, because I can give them some transportation companies that I've researched already that need our services. All right, I'll turn it back over to you, Sharanda.
We'll pass it over to Dunbar to introduce himself. Good stuff. Glad you're
all right. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate you all. Robert Dunbar here. Been here 13 years. Network trainer for 6 years. CDLP trainer for going on 4 years. So we love the business. We love working the business solution side as well as the networking. I was major on the networking side for 7 years. First 7 years in the business, and then I shifted over to B2B and made my networking my minor. And then a few years after that, I shifted more to the CDLP side of things later on. So it's been a great journey. Love all the memberships that LegalShield offers. Love the longevity with the company, 49 years, right? Almost 50 years in business. And I love that this opportunity gives you several different streams of income, and you guys can get paid in overrides. You can get paid by directly going out and making sales. You can get paid in residual income. I mean, it's just so many different ways you can earn income. It's just incredible. So that's the deal. I'm a 100K ring earner. Got 250K ring earners on my team. Achievement Award as well. So just always here to help, here to make sure that you guys have everything you need. So the Monday sales motivation call, obviously we're on episode 64. And we've got about another 2 years of audio recordings that we did, because I believe we're in the middle of year 3 of doing a Monday night sales Zoom for CDLP. So I would certainly say take advantage of going to the YouTube channel and taking a look at all those episodes. If you scroll down on the YouTube channel to where it says weekly LegalShield weekly CDLP sales Zooms, if you click on that playlist, it'll pull them all up from the first episode all the way to episode 63. Until this one finishes, it'll be up to episode 63. So go there, take a look at the video, start from the last one and go back so that you don't get old information first. We don't suggest that you go to episode 1 or 2, start on episode 63 and then start going back. That way you get the most current information. Please subscribe to the channel when you go there. Please get plugged into the Facebook page so that you have the information. So when some of you all reach out, you guys are like, hey, I'm looking for a script, or I heard this on a training, and does anybody know how to get on Sharanda Ivy's call that she does on Thursday? People will ask me information about this space. Then when I say, are you on a CDLP page? No. Do you get on the calls? No. They don't have any of the information because they're not plugged into anything. So please make sure your friends, your workout partners, the people on your team that are in this space, if they're not doing CDL, obviously they don't need to be plugged into this. But if they're going to do CDL, they need to be plugged into what's going on so that they will have the information. They can get to the file section. They can download the things that we put back there. There's several documents back there that you can download. I just released a document last week, another lead magnet that I see some of you guys are using already, the FCSA warns document. I had a decision maker appointment today with a CDL company with another associate, and I was a field trainer, and they knew nothing about the FMCSA warning. They didn't even know anything about data queuing. So again, you've heard Sharanda mention this, 1,000 times over. Some of these smaller companies, guys, they do not know about data queue. Sometimes they do not understand how the points affect your companies. They do not understand where to pull their safety information at. They don't know sometimes that the drivers tickets on or off duty, guys, get it, on or off duty affects their safety score. A lot of these companies don't know that. So if you can educate them to, just a little bit, it'll give you a little bit of an in. Just when I did the call earlier today, the young lady seemed like she really wasn't up for a conversation. She was like, why do we got to do a Zoom? She said that to the guy who was doing a Zoom with. She was like, I really don't want to do a Zoom. And then when we got on, we was like, got any questions? She was like, no. And then when we started talking about the FMCSA warning, the ELD machines, when we started talking about data queue, she all of a sudden got, right, she woke up and it was like, okay, wait a minute. And she started asking questions because she didn't know what she didn't know. So it's good to be able to educate these people as you talk to them. So John Hoffman, Sharanda Ida, if you guys want to add anything on that before I move to the next thing, because I don't like to talk and go and not give y'all a chance to input on stuff.
I'm good, Robert. Go ahead.
You good?
Yeah.
Sharanda?
No, I mean, ditto.
All right, good. All right, good stuff. So what I'll do is, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of pull up the authorization form. So I will go here and share my screen. See what we got here. I thought I had the group authorization form already up, but maybe not. Sorry for the delay. There we go. We're getting on it. So when you're looking for this form, if you don't know where to go get it, obviously I'm going to it now, but just so you guys know, you're gonna go to LS Engage. When you get to LS Engage, you're gonna go to resources. When you get to resources, you're gonna go to keyword search, and I would put in authorization. Hey Sharanda, could you let
I
Randy
did.
Hooker? Oh, you did? All right, I'll make him a co-host here in a second. Okay, so you see group authorization form pulls up right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and click on that group authorization form. And I will make that bigger so that we can look at this here. All right, so on this group authorization form, for those that are really new, this is the form that you're going to use to open up the group, right? This is the form that you're going to use to send the corporate so that you're authorizing this group. So before I get into the form, this is one of the comments that I make when it comes to getting this form signed, because a lot of people will get pushback because they're calling it an authorization form, or you're saying things like, I need you to authorize me to, or can you authorize me? And before we can move forward, I need you to sign off on this authorization form. And when you say it that way, in my experience, it kind of makes the person back up a little bit because they feel like they may not have the power to do that, or I don't know if I'm the person that does that. Let me give it to the owner and see what they say. When you say it that way, sometimes you can get a little bit of pushback. So what I have learned to say when it comes to this form, is, hold on, make sure we got everybody in. Okay. Oh, 1 second. Let me get Randy in. There we go. All right. So what I've learned to say is I use the different things on the form to let them know why they should be signing it. So if Sharanda happened to be the person that I was talking to sign this form, I would say, well, Ms. Sharanda, I'm glad we agree that this is something that you guys need for your company and for your drivers. We're going to be here to provide all the customer service for you. Before we get started, I want you to take a look at this form because this form is going to do a few different things for your company. One, the pricing that you see on this sheet, and then I'm going to show them the pricing on the sheet, right? Because I'm going to already have this filled in, guys. I don't fill this in afterwards. I have this filled out before I have them sign it. So I'm going to say this pricing that you see, this is the pricing that you get because we're doing this as a group setup. So this is special pricing. So in order for your drivers to get this pricing, I'm going to have you sign off on this form. That's one reason that I tell them I need to have them sign off on it. The other reason I have them sign off on it is you see company authorization here, right? I want the amendment added to the member contract for employment related matters. And what this does is this allows us to have them mark that box, and I normally mark it for them before I ever have them sign it, saying that the employees cannot use it against the company. I say, well, we don't ever want the members to use the membership against you all. We know that you guys are giving us the ability to talk to them, to protect them, and they're getting a discounted rate. So we want to make sure that the drivers aren't trying to use this against the company. So what we do is we have you sign off on this form and check this box. If you see, I've already checked this box for you. So that's what we're doing with this as well. And lastly, I'll use the pricing, the group authorization. I'm trying to think of the other thing that I tell them when I'm getting them to authorize. I normally use 3 different things: the pricing, the authorization, and I'll have to remember the third one here in a second that I use when I'm having them sign off on this. But I never use the word like authorize. I always say, we want to make sure nobody's using it against the company, so we need you to sign it, and we want to make sure that you guys get group pricing, so we have them sign it for that reason as well. And then now they're wanting to sign it because they know that they're getting a discount, and they also know that we're keeping the employees from using it against them. So that's one of the ways that I get it signed without it being any pushback and them feeling like they need to speak to somebody else. So Sharanda, John, Randy, if y'all have any other ways that y'all want to throw out there that y'all get it signed, so that it's kind of it's not like this stopping point for the associate who gets nervous and they're like, they don't know what to say and they're scared to bring it up. And so what are some tactics that you guys use for that?
It also makes you their agent for that company, so no one else from LegalShield can stop in and talk to them about LegalShield. You are the go-to person by them signing it.
Absolutely. Sharanda, anything?
No, I mean, I will say this, before I learned how to, change my approach on it, it used to be weird, right? It used to be hard. It was like, oh my God, they got to sign this, and what if they don't? So, and I think, a lot of us think it's hard, but because we make it sound like it's this big contract or something, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, some people feel like they don't have the ability to give that authorization or that okay. And so, so it was something I just had to learn. I don't make it a big deal. Some of the same points you said, that's what I say. I like to joke about it. I say, hey, I just need to get this signature here so my corporate office can set up your group account so we can give your drivers those discounts that we talked about. And so, and plus my company want to know I didn't create this company, like you really are truly a company. So they're going to reach out to you via email or phone call after I turn in this paperwork just to verify your information. And they're going to ask you these same questions here as well. And that's normally what I do. And it's normally after the close of the sale. I'll just say that right quick. Hey, so we can get you set up as a company, as a group account, and get discounts. Let's go ahead and get this paperwork so I can get it to my corporate office. And I just leave it at that, and they sign it, and go from there.
No, excellent. Good. Randy, anything?
Well, I just tell them on this particular deal, I just tell them this is the form that I need to be able to show my company that you authorized me to give this discount to your employees. And therefore, by signing this, you allow me to lock in that discounted rate. And the company's going to call you, like Sharanda said, and verify that I was in here and that I didn't create your company on my own to follow, to ask you the same questions that I've asked here, just to make sure that we're all legitimate. And like you said, that we're not going to allow the employees to use it against you.
All right, good stuff. So hopefully that's helpful to the people looking at it. You guys will, see some value in that. If you guys understand that, if it's helpful, guys, just throw, a 1 in the chat so that we know you guys are following us and that this is making sense. Because believe it or not, this is a problem for some people, because different things hold people up when they're looking to produce. And it's like they get all excited. I've seen it a lot of times where a person's really excited, and I'm like, did you go over the group authorization form yet with them? And they're like, no. And I'm like, we want to go ahead and get it done? Well, I was going to just bring it to the enrollment. And I'm like, why are we not getting that done before then? And it's because they're scared, they're nervous, and they just don't want to say it. And it's really easy to do. And I've done it several times. So of course I'm used to doing it, but I'm just telling you guys, it's not, I've never had, well, I shouldn't say never. In the beginning, I'm like Sharanda said, people were getting pushback because I was being technical, and I was like group authorization form, what we used to call a gold card back in the day, and a blue card. Hey, I need you to sign off on this gold card. And it's like, what is the gold card, right? So it's like you get a little bit of pushback until you just turn it into a conversation when you let them know, hey, this is why we want you to take a look at doing this. So hopefully that's helpful to you guys. So on this form, again, something really important, and when the other trainers talk, they can chime in on whether or not they do this or not. I always get as much information as possible beforehand so that I can have it filled out, because the less hassle it is for that person to have to fill things out, the easier it is to get it signed. So if all they're doing is signing, guys, it's really good. So I always try to have their tax identification number before I have them signed. If I can't pull it anywhere, then I ask them. That's only one piece of information. It's not a big deal. I always get to have the company name, put the physical address in there, and you guys see that it's fillable. So you can actually type in there, ABC Trucking. You can type right in here and then download it to your computer, and it'll show up. That stuff will show up there. So do that. Where it's got city, state, company website. If they have a company website, if they don't have one, just put not applicable there. Primary contact and authorized officer. So you want to make sure you put that primary contact there. And then when this authorized officer and plan administrator, you want to make sure you put the authorized officer. And if it's the same person as the plan administrator, just hit that box, and you don't have to put the same information twice. If the plan administrator is different than the authorizing officer, then you want to put them both differently. And if you're saying, well, what's the difference? Well, a primary contact is going to be, so if I'm talking to a company and Sharanda Ivy is the person that I'm talking to as the author, she's authorizing me. She's the primary contact that I'm talking to about coming into the company. So I have her on there. That is who corporate is going to contact about the group for any reason, right? So if for any reason, I have to pick up the phone and call this company, it's going to be Sharanda I'm going to call, right? So that's going to be the primary contact, and I'm going to put her email and her phone on it. The authorizing officer is the person who is authorizing us to come in. That could be the same person. It could not be the same person. So if that is the same person, for the authorizing officer, you're going to just go ahead and write your information in there. If it's not the same person, put whoever's authorizing. So Sharanda may be the safety manager who's I'm speaking to as a primary contact, but the authorizing officer may be a senior safety director, or it might be the HR rep who's allowing me to come in. It could be the owner of the company who's authorizing. That could be the authorized officer. And then a plan administrator, for us, most of the time, is nobody because we're doing bank draft. But if you're doing payroll, whoever the plan administrator is, you're going to put them down there. A lot of times the authorizing officer and the plan administrator is the same person. It's not always, but most of the time it has been for me. And obviously corporate knows that. That's why there's a box that says if it's the same person, click, because a lot of times it is the same person. So you want to make sure you put your information there if it's not the same person. If it is, just click that box, right? Below that, you will see it says, I would like to opt into paperless invoicing. If you're going to have them do that, so you understand what this is. Where it says, I would like to opt into paperless invoicing, please make sure that you have a conversation with your company that you're talking to make sure that they're okay with the bill not coming in the mail so that they pay it. Because what will happen is they won't see the bill because it's not coming in the mail, and they won't pay the invoice because a lot of people, if they don't see the bill, they won't pay the invoice. So when they switched over, when LegalShield switched over, I had a lot of my companies going to 60 days without paying because they wasn't seeing the paper bill anymore. And a lot of people, they have to see it to pay it. Like that's their trigger to pay it. So if you're going to click, I would like to opt in a paperless invoice, have that conversation with Sharanda in this example. Hey, Miss Sharanda, are you going to be the one taking care of the billing? Oh yeah, I'm the one that's going to pay the bill every month. If it's payroll, guys, if it's bank draft, then there's not going to be a bill to pay. So understand that if it's a bank draft group, the drivers are paying on their own. So there's not going to be a bill that the company has to pay. But if it's a payroll deduction group, and this is whether it's CDLP or anything else. So if you're on this line listening and you're saying, well, I've got regular groups, this applies here too. If the group is a payroll group, ask them, say, is it okay for a bill? Are you going to be able to go into log in and pay the bill that way? Or do you need to actually physically see a paper bill? They will let you know because they deal with that all the time. If they say, no, I would rather have a paper bill, then don't opt into paperless invoice. Let them get their bill in the mail and pay it that way so that they don't fall behind and you don't lose your group. And then it says, I would like to learn more about online payment options. Again, have a conversation with them about that. When it comes to LegalShield at work, the person has a backdoor into that. So their corporate sends them a login as well to LegalShield at work, and they can go back there and pay their bill back there with their credit card. They can go right there, log in, and they can pay their bill as well as add drivers and take away drivers or whatever kind of group it is. They can do all those things themselves. So if they're willing to log in back there and pay the bill back there, they can, but have that conversation with them before those boxes are marked. So they expect that, because if any of this goes wrong, it's going to be your fault, right? And you're going to be the one to lose that group, and you're going to be the one to deal with those chargebacks, and you're going to be the one that's going to deal with the hit on your retention. So make sure that you stay on top of that. On the pricing, and before we go to the page 2, I'm going to turn it over to the other trainers just in case they got some things they want to add about this page. When it comes to pricing, me personally, I put all the pricing for everything on the sheets. And the reason why I do that is because I don't ever want to go to sell something that I'm not deciding to sell right now. I don't want to later on go to sell something, and I have to now send corporate an email to add that membership type to the group. I want every possible way I could sell to show up in LegalShield at work. So I know sometimes it's time consuming, and some of you guys may feel like, oh, I got to do this. I don't feel like putting all these prices in here, but you have to. You want to put out, well, you don't have to, but you should put all the pricing in there, right? Especially when it comes to CDL, because sometimes drivers, because they're over the road, depending on the companies that you're prospecting, you want to make sure that you have the plans for the other areas in case they happen to have an address in that other area. We try to stay away from signing people up using the New York address and different addresses where there's different issues that you may have to have with the license and stuff like that. But sometimes you do have to enroll them that way. So you want to make sure that you put all the pricing back there. So me personally, I put the pricing for everything on those different plans. And then where the CDLP and small businesses at, I always make sure I put those CDLP, I put the $29.95 and put the discounted rate or the bundle rate when I'm doing the bundle. I don't ever put the super on my plan, on my groups. And that's me personal. That's personal preference because I don't sell. I never push the super CDLP because I don't think it's a good option for my clients. So I don't ever put it on it. I'm not telling you not to. I'm just telling you I'll make a decision not to because I don't market the super. So I never put that on the plan. So that's how I deal with those different areas. Pat, I saw you putting some things in there. If it's a question, I'll go up there and get it answered after the other trainers go ahead and talk on this page if they have anything they want to add. So Sharanda, and then you can turn it over to Randy and John afterwards.
So yeah, so with me, yeah, I normally have everything filled out, except the tax ID number and the signature. It's just, I mean, it saves people time. And this is virtually or you know, in person. In person, I would have all this filled out. We would. And all they would need to do is their signature, because people are quick to say, oh, you know, I'll get it back to you. Oh, you know, I don't have time right now. And it's not important to them. And so that's where I see a lot of people get that back and forth, you know, because they don't have this stuff already filled out, and now they're chasing people. If you know, when I was walking in the field, we had a sheet that had the pricing. Our back page was always filled out because we're 50-50. And so really all we had to do was do the second page, which was check marks, and then they do their signature. And like you said, just having those conversations about the online price, the online, you know, the paperless invoicing and things like that. I put all the pricing too as well, because I mean, that's what I cross sell, because I'm trying to service the whole client, but I'm not wanting to have to go back to corporate every time and have those plans added to the group. So I ditto what you say. So I mean, that's how I run my business, just like you said. So.
Good stuff,
All right, ready
Sharanda.
next?
Go ahead, John. Yeah.
Okay, well, a couple items I'm not sure if you're familiar with. The tax ID number is necessary only. It's a payroll deduction, fringe,
right,
or partial fringe. If it's self-pay, it's not necessary.
Right.
Okay.
But I get it. Honestly, I get it because I sell a lot of small business plans, and you need it on that. So
Well,
I became comfortable because I was uncomfortable. I'll be honest, I was uncomfortable asking for the tax ID number. You know, this form used to be like a nightmare to me. So
yeah, if you're not
yeah.
including a small business plan with it, then, but again, it's not necessary. But then also on the bottom, go ahead and add the other supplements too, the home-based supplement,
Absolutely.
gun owner supplement too. Truck drivers carry guns. Maybe they're not supposed to cross the state line with them. And if you're going to sell a small business plan, if you're working with another associate, for you to split a small business plan, you have to include it in the group also. So put that on there too. And if it's an intrastate trucking business, they don't go out of state, put the small biz plus. If it's their interstate trucking company, put the small biz pro.
Me
Excellent.
personally, I put all of them.
You put them all there?
I put them all, and I put, like you said, the HBS. I don't put me personally, I don't do the gun supplement. I think I did it once on my group authorization. You know, and that's just to each his own. You know, we focus on what we sell mostly. But I'm like John, I put all of them. I put all the small. I start with the $99 in the pro, just like John said. I do the HBS, and I do the business plus too, because some carriers want a web presence, and so and they can get that with that plus.
Ditto to all of it. The only thing I add is on the back comments. I will put in the comments, please put all combinations in the LegalShield at work. And that means you can click the combinations instead of having to click add each individual sale.
Oh, I got what you're saying, Randy.
Even the CDL and legal. They do yet for your CDL and legal?
Yep. 5090 sale or 5190 sale. You put it in there as a combination, and then you can just click that once if they've bought both, and that it gives them both on the same deal all at once. You just ask for the combination. That way they'll combo those all to one button for you.
Oh, all mine be combo except the legal and the CDL. I didn't know they did that. Like all the rest of them are combo. I didn't know they do that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good information. I'm
Yeah,
learning on that because I didn't either. I've never done that. They always normally just combo mine, so I've never put it in the comments. So now I know to do that, to have it so that it is bundled. So thanks for that, Randy.
Yeah, that legal and CDL.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to know. I didn't know that.
Whenever you do that though, you have to know that if they live in a licensed state, you can't use that button.
Right.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Nope. That's good.
Unless you're licensed in that state.
Oh, okay, that's good to know because that is a headache right there.
So Pat, if you want to unmute yourself real quick and mention your New York deal that you put in the chat a second ago.
Okay, yeah, I have trouble. Of course, New York is different, right? So if you look at the line that says LegalShield and ID Shield under plans and pricing, the combo rates, it has room for individual and family, but not for any of these other states. I don't know why they didn't do something like that, like list them down here. There's certainly plenty of room underneath, but for New York, to be honest, I don't use this form only because depending on the pricing, there might not be enough room to put the combo individual / the combo family, and people don't know what that is anyway, if I just put two prices there. So the form that we had before this gives you room to put the combo for individual and the combo for family. Now, unless you put a text box up above where it says individual and family in, say, New York State or Massachusetts or Nevada or whatever, because it's not easy to distinguish that because they don't give you any room to do that. I don't know why. They only give you one rate, one space.
Pat, that line where it says LegalShield and ID Shield as a combo.
Yeah, but is it individual combo or family combo?
Okay.
That's what I mean. There's not enough room. Yeah.
I'm confused.
So what it sounds like what Pat is saying is where it's got the Massachusetts and Nevada and New York, where it's got the legal and ID Shield together, it's not giving you two spaces, one for individual bundle and family bundle. It's just giving you one space. So
right.
What she's saying is like if the person is getting the individual bundle, the individual identity theft in the CDL or the family legal, there's no way to determine when you're putting the pricing on the sheet, it's not giving you enough room to say, I want you to put the bundle for both.
Right.
Like for the individual and the family ID Shield connected to a combo. It's only given one space. And I think LegalShield might just be overlooking that. And somebody may have just not said nothing to them. They may just not even be thinking about it.
Well, I told them, but when it first came out, it's probably down on the list of things to do.
Yeah, I'm sure they got a big list of things to do too.
But the other thing is, I added a text box down here underneath CDLP and small business because there's not really enough room for all of that. So I just put a text box and I list all the plans. Small business essentials, small business pro, small business or plus and pro, and then all the supplements. Because it just,
on one plan. I put all mine on that row. I put $29.95 / 99 / 169 / I put HBS $14.95, and then I put the business plus, and then I put the TD, the business TD. I put it all on that one line.
Okay, well, I was putting gun owners. Yeah, I did it because I could spell it out because people, what's that? What does that mean? TDS. What is, so I just did it at the bottom. So I can spell it all out, and they might remember the second after I told them, but then the next week when they actually go to sign it, They might forget, but that's what I do anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
understand. A lot of mine is done right then and there. I don't send out a lot of that and wait for it to boomerang back. I just don't. So,
Well, no, I was sitting with the guy and he wanted to check with his brother, and so now he's going to sign it. But I had it all filled out and ready for him to go. All he had to do was sign it. And I got the okay today, so
good
no,
stuff.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Good stuff.
Absolutely, congrats. And Pat, when you get a chance, give me a call or message me and give me a number or something like that, because I meant to call you some time ago about that whole reserve balance thing, and I never got a chance to, so I can show you how to clear that up.
Oh, yeah, how you can get your money back?
Yeah,
Because they told me no. Okay, yeah, I'll give you a call.
Yeah. We need to talk about that because it's a way to do that. I'm just not.
Good. Okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
thanks.
So, moving on to page 2. So, guys, benefit effective date and scheduled enrollment dates. So, for me, right, the benefit effective date, most of my groups like this are going to be bank draft when it's CDL. So, my benefit effective date is going to be the day that I'm doing it. Whatever day I'm doing it, I put it on there because it doesn't matter. It's not going to payroll. If it's payroll, I check with the HR rep and we decide on what the effective date is going to be. The scheduled enrollment date is going to be whatever day you plan on doing the enrollment, or whatever day the first membership is planning on going in. You can say for the scheduled enrollment date as well on that. So that's how I do that. And then, of course, the boxes below that, whether it's payroll deduction, fringe, paid self-payment, partial fringe. I kind of stay away from fringe, guys. If you want to have a conversation with me about why and how to stay away from fringe, I'll do that, because that's a longer conversation and we don't have time tonight to talk about that like live on here. So if you're thinking about doing a fringe and you're thinking, well, wait a minute, let me speak to one of the trainers before I do that, just reach out to me. And really, you can reach out to any trainer because they probably all feel the same way about fringe. You can do that. Just reach out. But payroll deduction, obviously, that's the one you're gonna click if you're doing payroll. If it's a self-pay bank draft, what we're talking about, we do most of the time, you're gonna do paid or self-payment. When it comes to the LegalShield paper application, the next section that says enrollment method, LegalShield paper applications, LegalShield secure enrollment website, secure file transfer. Most of the time, you're going to be doing LegalShield paper applications. I know some of you guys are working bigger groups and you do have this secure file transfer. I work with some of those groups because I work with cities and counties and stuff like that. And I work with brokers, and the brokers I work with, they use the secure file transfer. If you're using those, you know you're using them, so I don't need to say that to you, right? Because you're at that level where that's what you're using. So this conversation is not for you anyway. If you're not using those and you're not having a website set up for that account where it says LegalShield secure enrollment website, if you're having them set up a site for them to enroll into LegalShield, that's when you're going to click that. And you know that you're doing that because that's a process you have to take them through. So that's the button you're going to click. Other than that, you're looking at LegalShield paper applications. Don't confuse any of this with LegalShield at work. They're not asking you about LegalShield at work, and a lot of people confuse LegalShield secure enrollment website. They click that thinking, oh, I want to use LegalShield at work, and that's not what they're saying. So make sure you click the LegalShield paper application box unless you know you're building them out a website or you know you're doing secure files, because when you do paper applications, that is including your LegalShield at work. On the payroll cycle, normally, if it's a payroll, they're doing weekly. It's 52 pay periods. So just keep that in mind. Hold on, let me get that. About freedoms. Okay, there you go. Thank you, whoever muted that. So the payroll cycles, when it's payroll, it's going to be weekly mostly. I don't think I've ever done a company payroll that wasn't weekly. So if it's payroll, it's normally going to be weekly. If it's not payroll and it's bank draft, then it's going to be monthly, guys, 12 pay periods. So make sure you choose that. Where it says first deduction date, when I'm doing bank draft, I don't even click anything on that. I know when the other trainers speak, they can talk about what they do with that. But when it's bank draft, I don't touch those boxes. If it's a payroll, then I have that conversation with HR on when the first deduction date is going to be, and then that's how we do that, right? That's how I do that. Enrollment frequency, I use Evergreen. Enrollment at any time throughout the year, unless you know that you can only go into that company during open enrollment. I don't have any transportation companies like that because none of my transportation companies are that big. Now I have 2 CDL companies that I work with associates that I am a 50% commission split, and there are open enrollment for those because they're bigger companies with thousands of drivers. But all of my personal groups that I've opened up, none of them are open enrollment ones. They're all, I can go and talk to the drivers whenever they allow me to. So I always do Evergreen. And that only means, Evergreen means that you can talk to the drivers at any time throughout the year. And for enrollment effective dates, I always put immediately, unless I've had a different discussion with the decision maker. But most of the time for me, it's immediate, not first of the following month or other. And for cancel option, immediate first of the following month. And if it's open enrollment, if you know that's your circumstance, that you can only sell and cancel during open enrollment, then you're going to choose the option for open enrollment for qualifying event only. So that's how you're going to handle that. And that's how I handle that. So on the broker PEO TPA information, if they're using a broker, and that's who they're doing their benefits through, this is only going to apply if you're doing payroll. If you're doing payroll and they're using a broker or a third party to do their payroll, then you're going to put that information there and they'll tell you that. So if you say who handles your payroll, they're going to let you know their payroll department, or they're going to say, oh, we use a third party, which is what the TPA is, or they use a PEO, or they use a broker. They'll let you know that, and then you can get the information for that company to take care of that. If it's payroll, if it's bank draft, you're just going to put NA there and keep on going. And then the LegalShield servicing information. So remember, the person opening the group is always a servicing associate. You're always a servicing associate, the person opening the group. Don't let anybody take your group from you. I've had people who call me and say, hey, I'm working with a field trainer, and they told me that they was going to be the servicing agent. I don't know what you worked out with that person. I don't know whether you didn't have the ability to open up a group yet or something. I don't know what that particular situation is, but generally speaking, if it's your group, you should be the person that's the LegalShield servicing agent, and then your associate number should go there on the right. And then the company authorization, which we touched on already, letting that company know that the employees cannot use the membership against the company. You're going to mark that box. I always mark that for them ahead of time. I don't leave that to be marked for the company, right? So authorizing officer signature, that's going to be the company, the person from the company who's authorizing you to come in. They're going to sign the date. It shouldn't be much more than that for them to do that, right? So just so you guys know, right? I try to get everything filled out, so all they have to do is sign that. That's all I want my guys to have to do is sign that. Anything more than that, I'm making them do more work, and there's a chance that they may say, hey, could you come back and pick this up? And I don't want to deal with that. So below that, it says servicing associate use only, and that's just for you as a person opening up the group, for you and the field trainer to take a look at the group name. Don't worry about the group number. You don't have it yet. Don't worry about the business code. I know that the business codes, guys, are on here. Like, I know that the business codes are on here on the bottom, right? I get it. And I know that you can read, and I know that you understand stuff, and I know you feel like, oh, I'll just go and grab it and put it there. Don't ever leave room for error. Don't put your group authorization form in and you did that wrong, and then they have to hold your group form up. Just let corporate do it. Let them do it. So just leave that blank, and corporate will fill that in for you. So I've learned to just leave that alone. So I don't put a business code there. Corporate puts that in there themselves when they are processing the group. So that's how I do page 2. Sharanda, I'm gonna turn it over to you, and then you can turn it over to John. Randy had to jump off, so it's just gonna be you and John. I'll comment on this.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. Yeah, the benefit and effective date, mine is normally the same. You know, they might not take the first payment out on the day that it becomes effective, but normally that's the same. When we come to the agreement that we're doing this, my dates normally is the same, unless, you know, they do have something already scheduled, and go from there. But you went through all the everything you went through, those are the options that I choose and why I choose them. I will tell people a lot of times, if it doesn't apply, put NA so nothing else can be filled in. I just do that. I've heard errors happen before. So like a lot of times my companies don't have brokers and stuff. I still put NA. So, but other than that, everything you mentioned, that's really how I do it as well. And that's it.
All right, I got nothing to add to that. It was just the way it should be done.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. And I think I saw something in the chat. If you guys understood what we said, if you guys are clear on everything we said, we've been doing so far, just throw a 2 in the chat so that we know that you guys are following us. Thomas Jackson, be funny. Yeah, don't fall for the okie doke, guys. Don't let nobody tell you that because they're the field trainer, the group need to be in their name, because that's not true. If there's something like that seems skeptical, always call corporate in check, guys.
Absolutely. Don't get punked.
Yeah, don't get punked. Always call corporate and check, because guess what? If they right, then no harm, no foul. If they wrong, no harm, no foul. You can call and check and make sure but always, always dot your I's and cross your T's. I've seen that happen. So just don't let it happen to you. That is your group.
Yep.
It's your contact. You are the servicing agent on that group, because you don't want somebody putting you off of your group. And that's exactly what can happen if you are not the servicing agent. You could be put off. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me see. Go to page 3. So on page 3, guys, that's really just us. Right. So really, page 3 my accounts don't even see page 3.
Right.
They only see 1 and 2. Like, this is not even attached when I'm having them sign it, because this is all our personal stuff, right? So the servicing associate, again, is the person who's opening the group. You're the person that's opening the group. You put your information there and your associate number. Below that, anybody that's authorized. So you want to authorize the field trainer if you're using one. If you're doing a split with somebody, you want to authorize them. You're going to put their name and their associate number there, right? So that's for the authorized. The field trainer's name and field trainer's number goes here, right? The field trainer is not your upline unless your upline is actually the field trainer. So again, the okie doke. Don't have a field trainer help you open up a group and then put your upline here for the field trainer.
Absolutely disrespectful.
Yeah, put the person who helped you that you're supposed to be putting on there as a field trainer. So I always make sure I see this before it goes to corporate. So you ain't gonna pull that on me no way, but I just want to make sure you know not to do that. To make sure that field trainer's information goes there. And then I just put NA for the producer ID. For the producer associate number, I put NA personally. If there's no finder fee, because no company is getting paid for turning this company over to you, I put NA, and I put finder fee code. I put NA. You heard Sharanda mention that. If you're not filling something in, put NA so nobody else can't put something in. So just put NA there. On the commission share, make sure you got this understood so that you're doing this now, so that you don't have to do a commission share form later on, right? Do this while you put the group in. So at the top, if it's just going to be you and you're going to be 100%, then fill up the first one that says at the top, associate name, associate number, receives 100% of the commissions. That's you. If there's no split. If you're doing a split, then associate name, that's going to be you. Associate number, that's going to be you. And then the percentage that you get. So if it's a 50-50 split, then you're putting 50 for yourself, and then you're going to put 50 for the other person on the next line. If it's 75, like I've been doing 75-25 ever since the pandemic. So if I'm working with somebody, they put 75 for them and 25 for me. Leave the state blank, because that'll cover all states, unless you know that you're doing splits in different states with different people. So just in case you didn't know that. And John Hoffman, I did this with an account that wasn't CDLP. I have Aaron's, which is a national account. So I've got splits in about 13 different states at this point with 13 different associates. So you can have a split in every state. But John does that a lot in CDLP. I work 2 groups with John Hoffman where I have different states that I'm going to split with him. So if Sharanda is setting up a group and she wants to do a 50% commission split on the business written in California, she can do a 50-50 split with John in California, a 50-50 split with me in Florida, a 50-50 split with somebody else in Georgia, right, if she wanted to, if the place was too far for her to get to. So remember, you can do different splits in different states because they're only going to do the business that's in that state. So just keep in mind, and it's where the person is saying that they're at on the application too. So keep that in mind. So remember, these truck drivers can move around. So be careful with that when you're doing the splits in different states. But that's what that's for. If you don't understand what I mean by that, just contact me or one of the other trainers offline and we'll explain it a little bit better. If everybody understands what I mean by that, just put a 3 in the chat so we know you understand. But make sure your name, right? Your associate number, the percentage that you're getting. If it's going to be state to state, put that state. If it's not, if it's just going to be universal, then just put 75 or 50% for yourself, whatever it is, and then put the field trainer's information or whoever you're doing the split with. It might not be a field trainer. It might just be somebody else that you're doing a split with. Put their information there and then put their associate number and then put the percentage of that split there for them and then leave the state blank. If there's no state, put the state if there's a state necessary. And the comment area down here, this is where you put any particular comments that there was no space for that you need corporate to know. That's where Randy was saying that he put the combo in LegalShield at work. That's kind of where he does that at. He puts it right here. So anything that you couldn't put on this form that you want corporate to know, you're going to put that down here. And then you, as the person opening the group, you are what, guys? The servicing agent, you're going to sign down here. The servicing agent. That's going to be your signature, and you're going to put the date down here. Remember, this page is for you and whoever you're working the group with, or just you by yourself. This page does not go to the company. They don't need to see it. They only need to see page 1 and 2. So that's how I do that third page. Randa?
I want to go back to so you just said that since you've been in the pandemic, you split 75-25. I just want to say, associates, you have to, every trainer's not the same. And when you're working with a different trainer, don't bring what the other trainer is and you guys worked out. Oh, Dunbar said he only does 75-25 during the pandemic. Don't bring that to another trainer because everybody runs their business differently. And as a field trainer, when we're working with associates, sometimes associates, feel, I don't know, but they feel some type of way. But you got to realize if, you don't feel like that field trainer helped you close that deal or you could have did that without the field trainer, don't work with the field trainer. And then, and it's just people just come to the table with all this stuff. And if, it's sad, but, I'm trying to be nice, but it's sad. We're independent associates, but you got to think, we want to help and people time is money. And if that field trainer or whoever you're working with, if they hadn't been there to close that out, think about it, would you have been able to close that out? And so my deal is when you're working with a field trainer, don't come to the table saying with another person, they only take this much, or you did this that time. Don't do that. Really. And I say that nicely, but it's just, it's just, I say disrespectful. It's because it shouldn't be that way. And like I said, if you feel like you could have closed it, then don't work with somebody if you don't want to feel like you want to give them a portion of the commission. And nobody's obligated to work with anybody. That's all I want to say about that.
But also on this third page, you want to put on there too, if you're working with a field trainer, to have the field trainer have access to the LegalShield at work. So we can also help you control the account also too. You want to have access to that, because otherwise it will not be available to him. As far as commission split, the way I work it, I'm sure we're all different, but if I'm giving an associate a lead in another state, I expect a 50-50% split on it. If it's their lead and they want me to help them work on it, I do a 75-25 also, like Robert's doing right now too. Because there's a cost involved, being a associate servicing an account. You have, membership kits to buy. You have associate, you have all kinds of tools and things you need to buy that, unless you have another agreement between that field trainer and yourself to split those costs, the servicing associate, which would be you, are going to absorb those costs. So I kind of factor that in there too.
Yeah, I've come to the table and I've given up the whole thing. So each situation is different. So when I say that from experience, and I'm trying to say it nicely. So
and just so people know that's listening to those, Sharanda, so that they understand that. Like, don't hear what Sharanda is saying and think like, oh well, I'm gonna call John or Dunbar because Sharanda charged me too much. If Sharanda, I don't even know what Sharanda does. I don't know whether she does 50-50 or 75.
sometimes I don't. I put it out there. Sometimes I don't. Like, because I'm having a conversation with the associate and I want to work with you to hit goals, but let's not come to the table thinking you're obligated. And if I did something last time, don't bring it to the table that I did it that way. You know what I'm saying? This time. That's all I'm trying to say, because, and then associates feel they do it entitled, like, and they think you're wrong because I know a lot of associates will tell you, they don't care what. If you calling for anything, they're going to ask 50-50. And I'm not like that. Like, but if some people will take advantage of you, and you can't bring what Dunbar or John or anybody, or I say, to the next field trainer. That's just not right. We have a conversation about this and we keep it moving. And if, like I said, if you feel some type of way, don't work with a field trainer.
And like you said, every deal is different though, and every deal is its own deal. So it's like anything else you're doing. When you do this, you're doing a contract. So when you're doing a contract with a field trainer, this group is a different contract than the next group. So you come back to the table where you agree or you disagree on whatever you're going to decide that you want to do. I do 75-25 because I'm not going anywhere. I'm not traveling to do anybody's groups right now. Even if you ask me to, I'm gonna tell you to just call another field trainer because I got other things going on and I'm not traveling to do no group. So I just do 75-25 and I leave it there. So if you run into a field trainer, I don't care whether it's Randy or Lamar or Sharanda or anybody on the B2B side or the CDLP side or however you want to call it. If they say 50-50, they're not overcharging you. They're not charging more than John. They're not charging more than Dunbar. That is y'all's deal that y'all working out with whatever y'all particulars are. I'm only doing online stuff. So I just do 75-20. Huh?
I'm doing online too, but it ain't always 75-25. I ain't leaving the house either. I'm just saying, I'm not leaving the house either. But if I close the deal and it was my time, because it's a lot of back and forth. I mean, you know what I'm saying? When we doing it's a lot of back and forth. That's time. I mean, time is valuable. And I mean, it is what it is. I'm just saying.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
No,
I said, I know associates, they 50-50 and they just saying hello to your prospect.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. You got to be careful all that stuff because the same way I'm sensitive to both sides.
Yeah.
The associate side because I told the guy that the other day. I'm like, if you got a couple of questions, man, just give me a call. I'm like, don't end up on the phone with somebody and you be like, hey, I got a couple of questions, and they tell you to fill out a form for half your group. I'm like, I don't need half your group to answer a couple of questions. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need that. But if you want me to research your company, if you want me to be on 2 or 3 DM appointments with you, if you want me to show you how to make the folders, how to fill out the paperwork, how to do it, you got to expect, like anything else, you're going to have to give up some of your group to get that kind of assistance so that you're learning. But you should be learning. So you've heard me mention this before. Don't be giving up some of your group and having somebody doing all the work somewhere else and then coming to the table with everything. Oh, I got everything done for you. Because you didn't learn nothing. And if you don't learn anything, you're going to need them again. So that should be like, right? So it's like if you went to college to get an education, I know some people cheat through school. It ain't a good idea. If I'm going to pay for school, I want to actually know how to do the stuff, right? So it's like you're paying when you have a field trainer come take half of your group, or 75, 25, or whatever you agree to. Somebody is getting some of your group. They need to be teaching you so that you know how to open up a group. You should know how to do an authorization form after that first group because they did one with you. You should know how to do your talk off. You should know how to explain the prices. All the things that you needed that field training for, you should have learned how to do those things yourself in that process. And it may not be the first time, maybe the first, second, or third time, but you should be learning every time. You should not be sitting back and being like, hey, this person is doing this stuff for me, and we just gonna close the group, because you're gonna keep needing somebody to close the group. And that's not really the way it's supposed to work. So
Right.
You need to make sure that it's a learning process and that you're learning while you're doing everything yourself, not just letting them do it all for you. Somebody mentioned a time a little bit back. Can we put an example? I think we do have an example authorization form in the Facebook group, but if we do, it's probably old at this point. So we'll do another one. Write another one up, and then we'll drop it in the Facebook page so that y'all can go there and grab it, and you'll have an example so that when you're going to fill out one, you'll have everything. And I know Pat says that she puts the prices in a dummy one, and then she just, she makes copies of it so that she can actually not have to keep putting the prices in every time. So that's what she does as well. So just something that you guys use. Now, obviously, we went over, so we're not going to be able to go over LegalShield at Work. So we'll say that to next week. But next week, we'll go into LegalShield at Work. We'll go on it live on the page. I'll log into my LegalShield at Work, and then I'll go through those different pages and tabs so you guys know exactly what's back there. Some of you guys have never opened a group, so you don't really know what's back there. So you'll get a chance to see what's back there, so you'll know what to expect when you open up your first group. And for those that go back there every now and then, but they don't really know how to, surf back there, we'll show you guys on how to do that back there as well, because we definitely it's already 9:46 or something like that. So we're gonna need to close out. So I'm gonna turn over to Sharanda, see if she got any closing statements on anything. Then turn over to John, then we'll go ahead and close everything out. Thanks for sticking with us as well, guys.
Okay, so I want to address this. So you can do a split on any group with anybody, with any other associate. They don't have to be a field trainer. You and another associate can do a 50-50 split. Now, Dunbar mentioned this earlier. The servicing associate is the person who owns that group. That's what servicing associate means. The servicing associate is the person who owns the group. Meaning, if me and Mr. Hicks do a group together, Mr. Hicks got a group, he might be new. I'll use my associate on the phone. I have a new associate on the call tonight. Now, if she go out and open a group, I know she's new. She just signed up last week. She's group certified. She's CDLP certified. If she has a contact for any group, it could be transportation, any type of company. I'm a field trainer. I'm a CDLP state trainer. But if she brings to me a prospect and she says, I want you to work with me with this prospect, she is going to go on that group as a servicing associate. That's her prospect. That's her group. I don't care if she started yesterday. That is her prospect. She should be the servicing associate. Now, if she's not trained to service the group, that's what she can ask somebody to help her. We got a whole lot of associates, and corporate will help her as well. So if me and her fall out and she doesn't want to work with me anymore, that's still her group. Somebody will help her. But I don't go on that group saying, oh, you're new, right? You just started yesterday. I'm going to go on that group because you don't know how to service them yet. That's not right. That is not right. And that's not fair. We have too many trainers and other people in the group to assist that associate, even if she's new. But no one should tell someone that, oh, I'm gonna I'm gonna be the servicing associate because you're new. If they went to certification class, they brought the prospect to you, and you want your assistance, that's still their prospect, that's still their group. So if somebody tells you that and you're not comfortable with that, you ask somebody else before you send some paperwork in. Because if somebody else goes that group as servicing associate, you have nothing else to do with that group, because whoever the servicing associate is the one who owns that group to corporate. That means corporate will have conversations with them, not you.
Could you imagine that happening on the networking side? A brand new associate joins the business and you call and say, can you do a three-way with me? And the person recruits the person and says, well, I'm gonna put them on my team instead of your team because you don't know how to work with this person. So I'm putting them on my front line. And I'll just send you some money when they sell a membership, when they give me the override. That wouldn't work. But that would be ridiculous to even think that would happen that way. So like Sharanda said, she pretty much put it in a nutshell. Like, don't go for that. Don't do that to anybody. It's gonna come back. Their prospects, their group. I don't care how unexperienced they are. It's not your business how inexperienced they are. It's still their contact. It's still their contact. Yep.
The only way that would happen like that if the new associate is not certified and you have this group. But that conversation and that should be explained to the new associate. Hey, you got this prospect. They can be an employee benefit group where we can give them some discounts. You haven't went to employee benefits training yet. Let's look at the calendar and see when the next one is. If it's too far away and y'all ready to service this group, now that group has to go under that other associate who's certified, but y'all need to have that conversation. If not, sell them individual plans. I mean, don't get bamboozled. I mean, right is right. Integrity is, your word is everything you got. And we're independent associates. And if you don't understand something, and you wouldn't understand if you're new, but if you're listening to this call, that's not how that goes.
And you can also transfer it too. You can also transfer it. So even if that person is not certified and y'all have to come to an agreement that, hey, Sharanda, you need to put the group under me because you're not certified yet. And they want to do the enrollment tomorrow. We can open up the group with me being a servicing agent. And then when you get certified, I can transfer the group over to you. Corporate allows you to transfer a group to somebody. So you can give that person that group back once they're certified. So that is something that you can do as well.
It's just too many people, like you said, Thomas, cutthroat, and then new associates come into business and they just lose it because somebody did them wrong. Everybody not have rhino skin. I mean, everybody just don't. And people looking to be trained here properly. So if you have questions about something, we're adults, we're not kids. I mean, it's common sense. If it doesn't feel right but if you don't know, I understand you don't know, it's another way. Still come to these forums and ask questions, because I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah, got to be transparent. Transparency is key, guys. So no, thank you for that, Sharanda, for bringing that up.
And I just answered that because that was a DM to me, but that ain't the first person who had that same question. It's several associates have come to me with that and thought they had groups. I've opened groups with people who thought they've opened groups before, and they find out they've never opened a group because they weren't the servicing associate.
Amen. Get it in. Well, guys, this turned into more than just a regular training call as usual. it's on YouTube. So, hey, guys, this is what we do. We appreciate you guys staying with us for longer. John, anything to add? You still there?
Yeah, I want to add one thing on that commission share agreement. That's not cast in stone either. You can change that anywhere as far as the authorized associate, especially if you're working with a other seasoned associate.
Mm-hmm.
And an example I have is I had my surgery. I was counting on my workout partner to service some groups for me, and I found out he doesn't want to do it. So you know what? I'm going to find somebody else and take that guy off and put somebody else on.
Right. Yeah,
So
that was I said. Yeah, they can. That's what the question was. They said that the person wasn't a CDLP trainer, right? Like field trainer. And they don't have to be. They really don't. You still can split with them. You know, you can split with other people. You can, but you got to know the ownership of the group too. Because they was told that since, you know, they were new, or they didn't know how to service the group, it needed to go in the other person's name instead of their name. And it was their group. It was their prospect.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely
Enough-
something that
enough
we
said.
don't need going on.
So I get it, John. I understand.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, Facebook page, Thursday night accountability call, tomorrow's blitz. Please make sure you guys participate. Please put a 4 in the chat if you made a decision last week or this week to add another calling day other than just the blitz. Because if you were doing just the blitz and you added one call day, you double your calling numbers, guys. You doubled your calling numbers. So if you did, throw a 4 in the chat. And yeah, appreciate it, guys. And that's huge. That's huge. And keep building that way, guys. Add those days, man. You should be calling every day, either follow-up calls or initial calls, guys. That's that income producing activity. Make those calls, prospect those companies, because that's how you're gonna build a successful business. You've got to do that. So if you can do it on Tuesday, God willing, you can do it any other day of the week that time permits. If you know when they created it on Tuesday, you found a way to start doing it on Tuesday. So do it on Wednesday, right? Do it on Thursday. Block that time, 2 hours. Hit those calls and make something happen, and you'll see those numbers increase. You'll see your sales go up, and you'll see it's just about blocking that time and disciplining yourself to say, I've got to focus on making phone calls at this specific time every day, so that I can build my book of business and make sure I'm talking to my prospect. Oh my God, one more thing. I'm so sorry, guys. I know y'all want to go. If y'all want to go ahead, because it's recorded. It's on YouTube. But I wanted to mention one more thing because I had something happen with a person I was working with. Guys, I'm a big believer in this. Now, Addison ever said this a couple of weeks ago on the call I was on with him. I'm a big believer in everybody needing the membership, guys. I'm not a big believer in everybody being a part of this business. Network marketing is not for everybody. You got to understand that. I know you've been told to throw it against the wall and see what sticks. Everybody is not meant for network marketing. Everybody is not meant to do business. And keep this in mind. Right, I used to own brick and mortar businesses. Anybody that owned a business before that was brick and mortar, where you had actual employees, you don't hire anybody. So if you don't hire anybody in your business, don't recruit anybody into your business, right? And I bring that up because there was a young lady I was talking to. I was on the phone with an associate and the owner of a company that we were opening a group with, and we were doing a call. And the owner of the company said, "Hey, I know this product works. I got some referrals for you, and I will get them sent over to you so that you can contact them and let them know I said the call." And the person I was on the phone with was like, "Hey, let me explain something to you." And the guy says, "No, don't explain anything to me. I heard this before. Don't mess this up. I don't want to sell it. Don't approach me that way. I'm telling you, I have referrals for you. Just take the referrals." And the guy still tried to get him to listen to him pitch the business. And then I had to cut the guy off and let the guy go, right? Which is rude, and I shouldn't have had to do that. But guys, we got to stop like shoving LegalShield down people's throat on the opportunity side. If this is not the space for that. First of all, in a group, you're not even supposed to be trying to recruit. Corporate don't even want you doing it. So you shouldn't be doing it. But if somebody's going to give you a referral, guys, take the referral, or plural referrals. Just because somebody has referrals don't mean they're going to be a good sales agent. So I know that that's a line that you can use. I know they say, "Hey, look, instead of you taking the commission, you can take." I know that line, guys. I did networking for years. I know that line. You got to know when not to use it. Like anything else, it's a time for that line. It's time not for that line. And when the person cuts you off and says, "Know the pitch already, don't do it," man, just shut up. Just know when to shut it down. Like Sharana said, we adults. Like, know when enough is enough. Somebody say they're not interested, doggone it, they're not interested, man. Stop trying to make people interested, because if you make them do it, then they're going to stop anyway. This business is meant for people who want to do this kind of business. This is the vehicle, right? This is a vehicle for people who are looking for a vehicle. It's not a vehicle for people who aren't. Some people just want the membership, sell them the membership and move on and take the referrals. So I want to throw that out there, because we really do think that everybody we talk to, we have to try to shove the opportunity down their throat. And you have to be a good judge of character, and know that some people are not meant to be in this business, and particularly not meant to be in your business. But they can use the membership. So sell them the membership, move on, and recruit somebody else. That's my advice on that. If you're a heavy networker, I get it. You might don't like that, but I was major networking for some time, and I built the team, and I got 2 ring earners on my team. So I get it. But I also know that everybody's not meant to do any network marketing business, not LegalShield, period, in general. So I just want to throw that out. So hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I hope you do a great time calling on the Blitz tomorrow. Go ahead, Sharana.
Jody had a question about the effective date. And so if I'm reading it right, Jody, you talked to a prospect. They said they wanted it on the 1st, but then they end up wanting it on the 15th. So you wanted to know if you put, let's see what your question was. Hold up. If you put, if the owner says he's interested in the plan and wants to get the plan on the 1st, and then doesn't sign up until the 15th, can we put the 1st down as the effective date? The date that you put on the application is the date that corporate is making his application effective. So if you open the group on the 1st, but he didn't get a plan to the 15th, it's whatever you put on that application. Now, if you go back and put the 1st, but he doesn't get it to the 15th, he's going to get billed again on the 1st. So that's 2 weeks later. So if you got to know that if it's the date that goes on the application is how his pay is going to be. So he might have said he wanted it on his application to process on the 1st, but he didn't get it to the 15th. If you put the 1st on his application, or still got the 1st on his application, come the 15th, he's going to get billed again on the 1st if he paid on the 15th. You know what I'm saying? So if you want him to have a 30-day payment from the 15th, you need to let him know it's the 15th. We're going to do the 15th, or let him know that, okay, it's the 15th now. Originally, we had the 1st on there. If you put the 1st, corporate's going to bill him on the 1st again. So, so does that make sense, Jody? Because you can have the group effective on the 1st and no memberships are written to the 15th. His membership just is effective on the 15th. The group was effective on the 1st. So I don't know if Jody's still on here. I don't know if that helped her. Jody's on.
She's still here. Oh no, she's not even there. I don't see her name anymore. You talking about Jody Giroux, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll explain it to her on Thursday, but yeah, if you put that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so I hope everybody else got that too. Because I got a call about that myself, actually. I had gotten a call from somebody else about that, about the effective date versus, right, when the membership goes in or whatever. When it comes to group, you put that effective date in, then that's what it is. So if that person says, hey, my effective date is the 5th, then that's what you got on the application, and you go to process that thing on the 10th, but it's got the 5th on there. As far as LegalShield is concerned, they're covering them for the last 5 days. They're covering them because it says the 5th. So they're gonna come back and bill them again on the 5th, like Brandon just said. So just keep that in mind. All right, guys. All right. So next week, Monday, we'll be here. We'll be doing the LegalShield at Work. If anybody hasn't been able to download the FMCSA form, let me know and I'll get it out to you. But I sent it out again in the email today. It was in that email today. So if you got the email for today, it's there if you didn't get it yet. So we'll see you guys next week. You guys have a wonderful rest of your week. And we'll talk to you guys all soon.